Small business clients who receive 3+ hours of mentoring report higher revenues and increased business growth. At SCORE Orange County, we're proud to contribute to this success. This past year, our webinars, workshops, and resources have helped launch over 200 businesses and create over 3,000 jobs. This short video will introduce you to the heart of our program, our mentors and mentees, and their inspiring stories of growth and achievement. Are you looking for that ultimate business advantage? Navigating the world of business can feel like a maze. But what if there was a guiding hand to help you unlock your business's true potential? Look no further than SCORE of Orange County. We have the secret sauce you've been searching for. Free business mentoring tailored exactly to your needs. That's right, at no cost. Our mentors aren't just any professionals. They are experts in every field, from tech to retail, finance to marketing.
When I first started my company, I did not know how to run a business. Right away, I got connected with SCORE, and they taught me everything I needed to know. How to write a marketing plan, how to read a profit and loss statement, and how to write a business proposal. My SCORE mentor could not have been better. She had my back from the start. She was non-judgmental, and I could talk to her about anything I needed to go over. I couldn't be more grateful for my time with SCORE. Thank you, SCORE.
It's time to rise above the rest and conquer your goals. Embrace the SCORE advantage. Unlock your next chapter and request your no-cost SCORE mentor. Visit our website or give us a call, because with SCORE, your success story starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for joining our webinar program. Hope you cannot hear me. If you cannot hear me, just let me know. The title of the webinar today is Leveraging AI and Chat GPT in Digital Marketing. Let me make my chat open just in case there is a problem. So the learning objective for this webinar is I want to start with defining AI, machine learning, and natural language processing. Then we explore some practical application of AI in digital marketing. Then we talk about prompt engineering, a new growing field called prompt engineering. And then I show you some samples of using generative AI for digital marketing tasks. We talk about the role of AI in search engine optimization. And finally, we talk about a new subject called AI search optimization. So let's start with a brief background of myself. My name is Farid Parveen. I started studying mathematics, got my bachelor in mathematics. Then I got my second bachelor in mechanical engineering, my master in bioinformatics. I always wanted to be a university professor, so I went back to school, got the second master in computer science and PhD from USC in computer science. And since then, I have been teaching at USC, Cal State, Chapman University, San Diego University, many different institutes. And these are some of the courses that I teach. For the last 2 years, I focused on teaching AI and business in different schools. And as far as my work background, I had a couple of companies I sold, and then this was the last one, AI consulting. We focus on implementing AI and helping business to use AI to improve their process. So enough about me. Let's start with some definitions. So the first thing that I want you to know is artificial intelligence refers to a general ability of computers to emulate human thoughts and behavior and perform tasks in real-world environments. So this is a very broad definition of artificial intelligence. Then we have machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, and it just refers to technologies and algorithms that enable systems to identify patterns, make decisions, and improve themselves through experience and data. And experience means learning from the previous data. So when we are talking about machine learning, we are talking about some techniques, some algorithm. That's it. And then the next thing is a neural network. You hear about neural network a lot. Neural network is basically one of the most popular algorithms in machine learning that covers a broad range of concepts and technique. So in neural network, we are mimicking our human brain, and then we have some neurons, and then they are connected. So in the simplest form, we have a simple neural network that has some inputs and some outputs. The point of neural network is what we want to do. We want to make sure that if we show our neural network enough images of different animals and train, at the end, when we show a picture of a dog, it can say, okay, with high probability, this is a dog. So the input is what we provide, and the output is what it comes with, and then some probability. And hopefully we can get to the highest probability that we can. And deep learning is a subset of machine learning with multi-layer neural network. So the multi-layer neural network helps in image recognition, natural language processing, and it requires a large data set and computational power. And that's why it expanded in the last few years because of the GPUs. So if you look at these domains, again, artificial intelligence is a very wide domain. Machine learning is a subset of that, and deep learning is a subset of machine learning. And then we have natural language processing. Natural language processing is a discipline of building machine that can manipulate human language or data, the way that we write, speak, and organize our data. And a very good example of natural language processing is our friend ChatGPT. First of all, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which means that it creates new stuff based on what it was trained. So it was pre-trained, and now it can generate based on the training. And then the technology, AI technology that's using is called Transformer, that developed by Google researcher. So ChatGPT is not an artificial intelligence, it's a natural language processing platform. So you see these domains again, artificial intelligence, the big one. Natural language processing is a subset of that. It's some intersection with machine learning and deep learning. These are some of the applications of AI. We can use it in administrative tasks, creating smart content, autonomous vehicles, recommendation system, navigation, and robotics. Some verticals that we can use it, we can definitely use it in human resources, healthcare, agriculture, gaming, automobile, social media, marketing, and finance. And in this webinar, we are focusing more in marketing part rather than others. So these are some of the popular AI tools I just listed here for the reference. What we are talking about here can be applied to all the generative AI platforms, but specifically we are talking about ChatGPT here because some examples that I show is by ChatGPT. If you haven't used ChatGPT, I highly encourage you to go there. Go to chat.openai.com. OpenAI is the company. And then you go to chat.openai.com. You can immediately get started. You can sign up for free. You can, even without signing up, you can start using that. As soon as you sign up, you can log in. They have free accounts. So it's very easy to use that. Another alternative of ChatGPT is Gemini, and then I'm going to talk about that. So these are the evolution of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not new. The first release was 2018, GPT-1. When we are talking about neural network and training neural network, we have something that's called parameters. It's number of things that they can train a neural network. And if you look at ChatGPT-1, they had 170 million parameters. Then compare it with ChatGPT 3.5, that was the popular one. They had 175 billion parameters. So you can see the evolution from ChatGPT-1 to ChatGPT-3 and why GPT-3 is so powerful because of number of parameters that it has and then the way that it was trained. GPT-4 came in November 2023, then GPT-4o, which was a multimodal real-time voice, image, and video, and ChatGPT-5 that came in August 2025. Again, multimodal, significantly improved reasoning, speed, and accuracy. So one question is, when we are going to use ChatGPT, which one we should choose? As an ordinary user or a user that can have used ChatGPT 3.5 is great for basic use and cost efficiency. Again, if you're a regular user, you're paying like $20 per month, it doesn't matter to you. You can use ChatGPT 5 all the time, but I show you that when it comes to using ChatGPT as a developer, it makes a difference. So ChatGPT 4 is ideal for complex tasks, GPT-4o best for real-time and multimodal interaction, and ChatGPT 5, of course, is optimized more efficient with advanced capabilities. As far as the pricing before ChatGPT 5, the free plan could just access 3.5 before ChatGPT 5. ChatGPT Plus that you had to pay $20 per month could cover up to GPT-4 Turbo. And there is no per use or token-based pricing. You can continuously use. And upgraded user, of course, when they pay $20, they benefit from better reasoning tools and multimodal support. When ChatGPT 5 came, everybody can use ChatGPT 5 even if you are not paying. But as a developer, it's completely different. It's usage-based pricing. And look at the pricing for ChatGPT 3.5 compared to, let's say, 3.4 Turbo and 4.0. As you can see, ChatGPT 3 is much cheaper. So the point was, if you're using ChatGPT 3.5, then why you want to pay more for GPT-4? If a task is something that you can do with 3.5, it's 100 times cheaper, then it's better to do that. So again, these are based on the token that you send to the platform and then the response that you receive. So for example, something like this, if you say, okay, my model is GPT-4, that always you are a helpful financial analyst, and this is what I want you to do, summarize the key risks in this contract. The token is kind of similar to 4 characters in English. So 1,000 token is about 700 words. So when you have something like summarize the key risk, is about 6 tokens. And then here you pay $1,000 for 1,000 token, you pay this much. So my point here is, again, if you're a regular user, you are not concerned about this because you are not paying based on token. But if you're a developer and you're using API, you want to send message back and forth to the API, then you should consider this one. Another thing that you want to consider here is when you have access to GPT-5, why you should pay more. So in the free tier, you have access to GPT-5, but 10 messages per every 5 hours. If you pay $20 per month, you have significantly higher usage limits. And of course, you can use the thinking mode. And then if you pay Pro, which is $200 per month, unlimited GPT-5 access, unlimited usage, and then you can upgrade to team or enterprise, which has something to do with the privacy. So here you see the summary table for ChatGPT 5. The free can get 10 messages per 1 hour, 1 thinking per day, and plus, and pro, and unlimited, enterprise or team. As far as the security, because it's a concern, all the regular users like you and others, you cannot see each other's data. All ChatGPT interactions are private to your own account, and there is no public chat history. So if you're concerned that, okay, if I share something with ChatGPT, my neighbor is going to see it, my friend is going to see it, that's not the case. All the interactions are private to your own account. OpenAI, of course, they are going to use internally unless you opt out the option to use it for training. So OpenAI can use your information for training the data or training the platform, but you can turn it off. There was a concern about legal disclosure, and this is something that Sam Altman said a couple of months ago, that you cannot talk to ChatGPT and think that, okay, ChatGPT is my psychiatrist or my attorney. Because whatever you share with ChatGPT one day, if they subpoena, OpenAI could be legally obligated to produce that specific data and give it to the court. So that's the concern. It's not if I share something, your friend is going to see that. If there's a court order and subpoena, then they can get it. Enterprise or team plan, the data is not used for even training. So if you're concerned about security and data privacy, then you should take a look at this one. And this is a summary of that table. Another alternative is Gemini. Gemini is a Google version of ChatGPT. If you want to use that, you can go to gemini.google.com. Same concept. They have a free account. You can use it, and they have a paid. So depends on what you want to do. You have to pay or either use free one. Cloud is another alternative. Same concept. What's the difference between ChatGPT and Gemini? As far as you're concerned, there's not that much difference. The point is ChatGPT is based on generative pre-trained transformer. That's a technology, and Gemini is based on Gemini large language model. When I teach this course, I show some examples of how they are different when it comes to seeing a problem. So for example, when it comes to project management, I give a very specific prompt to ChatGPT and Gemini and see how they are digesting the information differently and then come up with a different approach. But as far as you're concerned, that's not a big difference. So let's just start with ChatGPT. I'm sure that you guys have used that one and are familiar with this screen. So ChatGPT, this is the screen that you see. We have something called prompt. Prompt refers to the initial input that you provide to the model in order to receive a response. So exactly like if you remember Google, when you go to Google account, Google homepage, you see that there is a box and then you can put your prompt message there, your query there. Here we call it prompt. So it can be any question, statement, or any text that you want the AI to respond to. And AI uses this prompt to understand the context and generate the relevant and coherent response. So here you put prompt. So if you look at, for example, here, if I say, okay, what day is today? That's basically a prompt, and then you get the response. So this is just a prompt. But why it matters? Why prompt is so important, and why we have a new field of jobs that they are prompt engineers? Because the quality, clarity, and specificity of the prompt dictates the relevance and usefulness of the AI output. So if you know how to write a good prompt, you can get a good result. So a well-crafted prompt helps the model to understand the task and deliver the response that meets the user expectation. Prompt engineering is the practice of designing, refining, and optimizing prompts to guide AI models in producing accurate and relevant information. Specifically, if you have a development team and they are calling, for example, ChatGPT APIs, and you have to pay for that, then it matters a lot, because if you send message to ChatGPT and don't get the result that you're expecting, and you have to do it again, you are paying for this. So having a good prompt engineer or someone which is familiar with prompt engineering, it makes a big difference. So the purpose of prompt engineering is it gives user more control over AI responses. It makes the whole process more efficient, reduce the need for post-processing. And again, it tailors the AI response to business-specific needs, whatever it is. So the analogy that I use always is, let's say you have a very good chef. You hired a good chef and you know that he or she can cook anything that you like. But if you provide something like cook me something nice, probably the meal is going to be good, but you don't know what to expect because you didn't provide any instruction. But on the other hand, if you say prepare a 3-course Italian meal focusing on vegetarian dishes with a gluten-free option, then you can imagine what you are going to have because you provided a very specific instruction. So that's the same concept when it comes to generative AI. If you provide enough information, what you get is very close to what you expect to have. But if you just say something, vague instruction, then it's not going to happen. So the key steps, I want to spend some time on this process because then you can apply it for the rest of your, working with generative AI. This is very fundamental, and if you learn it, it's going to make a huge difference. So instead of spending time showing some specific prompts that probably you can get it from anywhere, I prefer to spend time here and show you the process. So the key step in this process is first you have to understand the task. What outcome or information do you want from the AI? You have to be clear on the goal of the prompt. The second thing is context setting. You have to provide sufficient background so AI understands the domain or the problem space. So for example, if you're asking about marketing trend, then you have to provide context like time frame, industry, or target audience. The next one is designing the prompt. You have to structure your prompt logically. Break complex tasks into smaller and more manageable prompts. There is a concept in generative AI, which is a window context. This is the maximum length of message that a prompt or generative AI can understand. So if you upload a very huge PDF file, even if you cannot upload it, maybe it's bigger than the context and generative AI cannot read all of that because there is a specific length that can read. So sometimes you have to break complex tasks into smaller, more manageable parts. You have to make sure that if you revise your prompt. If you don't get the response that you want, you have to revise it, so refine the prompt. And finally, you have to optimize for the best result. There are some techniques like chain of thought prompt, role-based prompting, and so on that I'm going to go over briefly. What are the challenges of prompt engineering? First, overly general prompt. A generic or irrelevant prompt without any background can have irrelevant response. So you have to refine and add more details to the prompt. Ambiguity. AI may misinterpret vague instructions. So you have to use clear language and define terms when necessary. Prompt length is very important because too much information can confuse and get lost. Too little can result in superficial answers. So you have to strike a balance between context and being brief. And finally, bias. Prompt can unintentionally reflect biases, leading to bias output. You heard about this bias thing in AI a lot. And this is a very serious thing. These are common types of prompt. A direct prompt is very simple to the point. You tell generative AI that tell me about a cryptocurrency, tell me about, I don't know, whatever, how the alarm works. Very simple and straightforward. And of course, that can bring them response back. The second part is role-based prompts. You assign a specific role to show what they are supposed to do. So you can say, for example, you are a customer service agent. So as soon as AI see that prompt that you are a customer service, it generates the context around that one. So a prompt like this, you are a customer service agent handling a refund request, write a polite email explaining the refund process and offering an alternative solution. The third one is conceptual prompt. You have to add relevant background information to help the model generate accurate response. And I put the example here. Chain of thought is asking the AI to break down its process step by step, often for complex tasks. So what we do here, for example, is recently we were developing an AI agent for a CPA, and we asked AI to create some journal entry, and we realized that when we ask AI to add these numbers, some things were missing. So we said, okay, do it step by step so we can find out where you are missing data. So it's a very good technique to debug AI agent and the way that it produces wrong response. And finally, constraint-based prompts. You can specify some boundaries, like summarize this report into less than a page in 2 paragraphs. So you provide some constraint and then it can do it for you. So from here, I put some prompt samples and how we can use them. As I said, I'm not gonna take your time to go through this. I put some information here. I just probably mention a couple of them that's more interesting. So you can simplify the complex topics. You can generate summaries, edit your writing, write emails. Everybody's using this prompt. Discover new ideas, outline content. These are more interesting. You can improve your decision making. I put some sample here. Learn from the best, your personalized tutor. This is very interesting because you can tell, for example, ChatGPT and say, you know what, I'm currently learning Spanish. Ask me a series of questions that will test my knowledge and identify the knowledge gap in my answers and give me best answers. At work, we are using this technique for hiring people. So when we get a resume and job description, we say, you know what, you are our HR consultant, compare the skills of this candidate with job description and come up with the gap, and then come up with some questions that we may ask to clarify. Turn ChatGPT into your intern. Same concept, you assign a role. You can say, you know what, you're my intern. I want you to do this. So you provide a context and then we can do it for you. Learn any new skills. Learn faster than ever with 80-20 technique. Write prompt for you. This is interesting because there are some other platforms that do something else. For example, let's say you want to create a logo for your business, and then there are some platforms that are specifically designed to generate logos, but their prompt is different because they are now working with graphics, and then they have their own language. So what you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to generate a prompt for those platforms. Rewrite and simplify complex tasks. So these are some of the, again, samples that I put. These are more marketing specific prompts. So for example, you can use it for email marketing. If you want to write email, you can use this prompt. You can create a perfect prompt, as I said, for another platform or even for ChatGPT itself. Optimize your website. I'll show you some examples. Cold direct message. Creating social media posts. I know a lot of people are using this one. Simplify complex information. Create email templates. Write a blog post. YouTube ad scripts. Generate content idea. So again, these are some of the samples of ChatGPT prompts that you can use. I want to show you some real examples of how we are using ChatGPT in business. First, for example, let's say we want to market a new product. So either you have a new idea yourself and you want to market, or you're a digital marketing agency and someone approaches you to market that one for them. So the question is, what kind of question you should ask from that person or from yourself even before considering to market your product? This is something that you can ask ChatGPT. So something like this: I want to start a new business, for example, selling laptops in Irvine, California. What kind of research do I have to do? And it provides a list, and then you can expand that. The other example is, recently we had a potential client that they had a product similar to JotForm. JotForm is a utility that you can use it inside your website and create a form. So they came up with this new and similar product. So even before considering to do marketing for them, we have to see what's the difference between these two. And then we ask ChatGPT, what questions should we ask? Just to make sure that we have enough information. And you can see it came with a long list of questions that we should ask. And even you can say, what are the best possible answers? So we make sure that the customer did their due diligence and then they know their product. Everybody is using e-commerce these days. So these are some of the things that you can do with e-commerce. They are very possible. Of course, it's not something that I can teach you in an hour, but I just want to show you the possibility. And then if you are interested, you can basically dig into any of these. So the first is AI-powered website. You can connect ChatGPT to your website. And by providing that, your potential clients, visitors, they can ask questions, they can even engage in a dialogue, and your website can be very personalized and engaging. But personalization in e-commerce is significantly important. 10 years ago, when you had an e-commerce website, it was very static. It was exactly the same for all the visitors, the same products, the same layout. And then gradually they came up with this idea that, okay, if you purchase something, we can offer you similar products or products that other buyers purchased after they purchased this one. So somehow we can personalize that one. But now it went to completely another level. So right now we can customize your e-commerce website based on the browsing history, purchase history, even demographics. So you know that, okay, if a person over 70 years old come to my website, then I want to just show these products. On the other hand, if a very young or teenager person comes, then I want to show this. So the website is completely personalized based on, again, many factors: browsing history, purchase history, demographics, and so on. You can also use that information based for sending personalized email and do the targeted advertisement. So it's even beyond that. Predictive analysis. We can use machine learning techniques to analyze past purchase history and browsing behavior to predict what products a customer may be interested in next. This is something that we are doing. We had a client that had a flower shop, and then they want to know next Valentine how much flower they have to buy. And then they could use the data that they have for the past like 10 years, and then based on that predict something. Chatbots and virtual assistants. I'm sure that you have seen website with the chatbot that you can ask some questions. Traditional chatbots are very limited because they are based on an FAQ. They provided some questions, and then if your question is similar to one of the ones that they have on file, they can provide answer. But if you ask something different, then they don't provide. But if you can connect your chatbot to something like ChatGPT, then you have a 24/7 salesperson or support person on your website. They can ask any question, and then that chat bot can get real information from your repository and provide a very precise response. Visual search and image recognition. You have seen probably websites like that. We can improve supply chain and inventory management, optimize inventory, reduce costs. 15 years ago, if you had an e-commerce website, you had to go to your competitors and see how much they are selling the similar product, adjust your website manually. You don't have to do it now. Right now, AI can dynamically adjust price, not only based on competition, but based on demand and other market factors. Voice commerce, you're all familiar with that. Sentiment analysis for brand perception. If you're a company and you just release a new product, if people go to your Google My Business, they can provide feedback, and that feedback is either positive or negative. But what about the feedback that they provide on Instagram and Facebook? If you're a big company, even if you hire a team of like 10 employees and ask them to go and read all of them and come up with the good report, they can't, because they have different perception. But AI can read all those reviews, all other online material, and determine the public sentiment about the brand. They can improve data privacy and ethics and improve fraud detection. So again, these are very general. Let's talk about digital marketing. As you know, digital marketing has 4 major channels. The first one is search engine optimization, SEO. The second one is social media, either paid or organic. Pay-per-click, PPC. So you pay Google, for example, to put your website on the first page, and you pay Google directly. That's called pay-per-click or Google AdWords. And finally, email marketing. I want to focus on search engine optimization because I personally believe that's the best investment that you can do. I have a webinar called What Every Business Owner Should Know About Search Engine Optimization. You can get information about that webinar. Usually I have it every month. So in that webinar, I talk about search engine theory, how Google rank your website, and so on. So in that webinar, I show you that SEO is not an expense, it's an investment, and one of the best investment that you can do. People are using generative AI for blog posts, social media content, creating emails. And this is something that everybody is doing. But what you can do beyond that? So this is the SEO. SEO has two parts: on page, which is about the content of your website, how you write meta tags, how you write URLs, how you write descriptions. It also depends on how fast your website is and if it's a mobile-friendly website. So these are called on-page SEO. This is about 10% of SEO. Off-page, which has nothing to do with your website, the most important factor is in SEO is creating backlinks. This is probably 85 to 90% of SEO. How many backlinks you have to your website, and it has nothing to do with your website. Of course, if your website is very popular, people can give you a link, but usually this is not going to happen, or this is not going to happen in a short term. So creating backlinks is very important. Citation, how your information is populated. If your website support SSL and HTTPS, and finally, how your reviews are. So this is SEO in 5 minutes. What generative AI can help? How ChatGPT, for example, can assist? The first thing that you can do is you can do some keyword research. ChatGPT can understand and identify target keywords and provide a good list of keywords. Content ideas. It can provide some ideas. It can give you some on-page SEO guidance. Something about how you write meta title and descriptions, how you write image alt text, how you use H1, H2, how you use URL structure, and so on. It also can provide more information about technical SEO, something like site structure, internal linking, page load, mobile optimization, structured data, and schema markup. So technical SEO. It can optimize the content for you. It can provide some backlink strategies, can suggest some ways to create high quality backlinks. Local SEO tips, SEO best practices, how you monitor the trend. But if you look at all these from the first one that I said, here, these are just content ideas, guidance, suggestions, optimization strategies. ChatGPT cannot do anything for you when it comes to SEO. It can provide some information, but cannot replace your SEO team because you need human expertise, you need a strategy building, you need hands-on execution, team collaboration, and so on. So if someone tells you that, fire your SEO team and use ChatGPT, they have no idea what they're talking about. As I said, ChatGPT can provide very helpful information, very useful information, but you have to implement that one, as I showed you. So how you can use AI to enhance your on-page SEO? You can check the website, check the speed, and different things. And I'll show you some examples. For this one, because Gemini is connected to Google and it has a better data set to access, I'm always using Gemini. So you can say, okay, analyze this website. And just because I didn't want to use any specific website, personal website, I use Irvine Spectrum Center, which is a public place in Irvine. And I say, what, can I analyze this website? And Gemini can analyze it, come up with a list of keywords it can find. I can say, what are the main keywords in this website? And it shows the main keywords in the website. How is the speed of this website? And it says it loads in 2.3 seconds, and then provides some suggestions that if you have this website, how we can improve it. So you can ask different questions about the website, your website, even the content, the structure, everything. And it provides some suggestions. And then if hopefully you can do this. The warning that I give you is if you provide the website, then it's going to say, I'm sorry, I'm not able to access the website. And it happened a lot. I and my students did a lot of research to see what's the correlation between these and couldn't find anything. So your website can be up for 10 years, you have a good SEO ranking, but still Gemini cannot access. So don't get disappointed if something like this happens. Actually, I can see that it happens to a lot of websites. But if it can see your website, then you can get a lot of information. The last thing that I talk about SEO is programmatic SEO. Again, 10 years ago, for example, if you had a website like e-commerce site with a lot of products, travel website with a lot of destinations, hotels, and activities, job boards with a lot of job titles and locations, or real estate site with a lot of individual properties, you couldn't do SEO because if you go to an SEO agency, the first question that they ask is, okay, how many keywords you want to target? And if you say, you know what, I have a website and I have like 10,000 different products, then they say there's no way. But right now with the programmatic SEO, we can target a large data set. If you have any website that has like e-commerce, travel, job board, real estate that is very dynamic and change every day, then you have to do programmatic SEO. What are the benefits? Increase organic traffic, improve user experience. It's very scalable and cost effective. And how it works? We do keyword research with AI, find low competition. We create a template. We create content automatically for that content, for that keyword. We generate the page and then optimize it. So regardless of how many keywords you want to target, you can go through this process and then do it for you. This is the difference between regular SEO and programmatic SEO. But I want to show you something that I believe is very interesting. And you can use it in different businesses. So let's say I want to market my new startup company. We are installing solar panel in Irvine, and we want to market that one. So even if I go to a marketing agency, they are going to ask, okay, what are the keywords that you want to target? Even if I want to do PPC myself, I know how to do PPC, I want to do it myself, I should come up with a list of keywords. This process for my team used to take at least 2 days for 2 employees to know your business, to find out a good list of keywords that you want to target. So that was the first step. And as I said, it used to take 2 days at least for a team of 2, 3 employees. Now, with the help of AI, I show you how we can do that. So I'm assuming that you want to be on the first page of Google, for example. So what I do is I go to Google and search for solar panel companies in Irvine, California. Okay. And then when I do that, there are probably 10 to 15 companies that are listed here. I am very interested in the keywords that they are using. Why? Because if they are on the first page of Google, it shows that they did a good marketing because now they are on the first page of Google. And they are my competitors because they are using the same concept, solar panel installation in Irvine. The important part is how I can find out what keywords they are using because solar panel installation is just one keyword. I don't want to stick just to one keyword. I want to have at least 50 keywords so I can cover. So I searched on Google and then I can write all the companies one by one, or I can use a tool like SEO Quick that capture the first page and create an Excel sheet for me. So again, I go to Google, I search, and I use SEO Quake, it captures all the information on the first page and it creates a CSV file for me. The next step, I export that CSV file to a Google Sheet. So I save a CSV file, I send it to a Google Sheet. Now I have a Google Sheet of all the companies that are on the first page of Google, and they are my competitors. Okay. Now, in that Google Sheet, the first thing that I do is I enable GPT. So I go to extensions, I enable GPT function. And as soon as I do that, I can use ChatGPT here. So instead of going to ChatGPT and say, okay, find all the keywords in this website, and it does for me, I can write a function, and the function is equal to GPT that calls GPT function, and then pass the argument A2, which is the name of that website, and say, you know what, find all the keywords. So it immediately find all the keywords. Now, the beauty thing is, if I copy and paste this B2 to B3 to B15, it automatically does the same thing. And finally, I can say, okay, now I call that GPT function again and say, you know what, combine all these keywords, remove the repetitive one, and then remove the duplicates one and come up with the clean list of keywords and separate them with keywords. Now, again, some people say, okay, you can do it with ChatGPT. Of course, if you have this list of 15 companies, you can do it in ChatGPT with 15 companies. But what about if you have 300 companies? Then you have to do it in ChatGPT 300 times. But when you do it here, you can just copy and paste and it does it for you, and then you have a list of them. So, and you can apply this concept to anything. So for example, if you have a list of companies that are hiring, and then you want to send the job application, your resume. So you can ask ChatGPT to write a customized email based on the website and job description here in Google Sheets, and then just send that. So if you have 300 companies, you can just copy and paste the first prompt that write a customized letter for this company, for this job description, and it adjusts itself based on the next one, and so on. So remember to enable GPT and then use GPT function here. Again, these are some of the things that we are doing right now. We are offering our services to companies and say, you know what, we can help you to use generative AI to do a lot of things for you. For example, RFP scraping. So if you're a company and then you always are looking for RFPs, and then you have a dedicated person that has to go to this website and read all those RFPs, we can do it automatically for you, and then it generates it for you. We can abstract information, project showcase, status summaries when it comes to project and reporting, onboarding if you are using HR, and so on. So a lot of things that you can do. This is a very, I'm sure that you heard about N8N. This is a platform that you can come up with some workflow and then automate it. So in this workflow, I automated the creation and optimization of a blog post. So you can specify what you want to create, and then generative AI can get the content for you, generate the article, generate the title, add the draft to the WordPress automatically, even generate upload image, update the data sheet, Google Sheet, so you know that what subject you already published so you don't do it again. Ask AI to be your SEO expert and optimize the content, set the meta tag, and then finish the work. So something like this that can take forever your staff, and I'm sure that they are not going to do it, we can automate this process. Unfortunately, we don't have time. I wanted to show you how we can generate leads from Google Map. If you go to Google Map and then search for example, hairdresser around you or dentist around you, you can get all the information and put it in Google Sheet. I just put the example here. How you can use ChatGPT to create a pivot table. But as I said, we are running out of time. Before I go to the very important part of my webinar, which is generative AI optimization, I want to show you something. I asked the same exact question from ChatGPT and Gemini, and I got two completely different answers, completely opposite answers. So this is something that I want you to be aware of, that if you rely on ChatGPT or generative AI, to know that, okay, they are not always right. It's beyond hallucination. They provide the wrong answer. And then this is an example that I provide. But the part that I wanted to talk about is all the researchers show that Google traffic is used to be higher, and now it's dropping. So Google traffic, organic traffic is disrupted, and then a lot of researchers shows that people are using generative AI. So if you go to your phone and search for something like guacamole recipe on Google, you see that there are a lot of information, a lot of websites, a lot of pop-ups, banners, captcha, videos. It's completely overwhelming because you are just looking for a guacamole recipe, and then this is something you see. Many websites, many information, too much information. Video ads, sticky banners, shared button, and so on. But on the other hand, if you go to ChatGPT on your phone and search for guacamole recipe, it comes with a clean information. So that's why probably people are moving from Google and go to something like ChatGPT, which is very important. But what does it have to do for you? The point is, we had search engine optimization, SEO. Now we have generative AI optimization, which means that people are using generative AI. So if you have a business or a part of business, you want to be on ChatGPT. So for example, when people go to ChatGPT and search for best laptop reseller in Irvine, depends on your business, you should be there. You want to be there. This is where you want to be. So if you have a dealership, car dealership, and people go to ChatGPT and say, well, I'm looking for the best Tesla dealership, our clients come number one in ChatGPT. So you want to be here. This is where you want to be. And for doing that, you have to know how to do this. So again, we are here very well in like 2000. In 2000, search engine optimization was very in the early stages. People didn't fight for position on Google. Now that's the same scenario with ChatGPT. If you start right now, you can be on the first page of ChatGPT. And for doing that, you have to follow some instructions and rules. The problem right now is ChatGPT and other generative AI is not standard. The interface is different. If you search for best web development company in Irvine, this is what you get. If you remove that this is what you get. So as you can see, it's not consistent. The data is not correct. Some of them are not even web development company. But again, this is a good opportunity for you. So AI responses are not stable yet, but regardless, you want to be here. So this is the 5 most important factors that you do in SEO. and I showed you, this is what you have to do in generative AI. You have to make sure AI can crawl your website, confirm the AI, the site has a clear value proposition, get listed in directory citation, get check review sites, write friendly press releases, write guest posts, and get help. So this is how you get listed on generative AI. I'm sorry that I didn't have time to go through the whole thing. My name is Farid Parvini. Write me if you have any questions, send me an email, and I promise that I answer you. This is the email that I created for SCORE members, score@RepConcepts AI. I check this email myself. I promise if you send email, I'm going to respond. If you have a website and you want to see how it's doing, if you want to do generative AI optimization for that, send an email to me. I can ask my team to do some analysis, send you a complete website analysis, SEO analysis, and so on. Thank you so much for joining. And then I'm sorry that I had to rush through this because it's just 1 hour and then I had a lot of things that I wanted to cover. Thank you and have a good one.